He is the man of the hour in Jacksonville. And as you know, Chris Brockman, a couple weeks ago in my second down, I said I was all in on this guy.
You did.
After his first career start. But Washington State fans will say that they were all in on this guy way before any of us were. He is the fourth recipient of the Snickers chain, which rewards the NFL's hungriest player each week. He is the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Gardner Minshew. How are you, Gardner?
Rich, I'm good, man. Glad to be on the show. Appreciate you having me.
I am thrilled to have you. I mean, it is just the energy that I just get from the television watching you, Gardner. I feel that. Where in the world do you get it from yourself?
Oh, man, I think you get it from the guys around you. I think you get it because you're doing everything to make sure that they can win and you want them to be successful. I think that's kind of what drives me.
No, I know that you're trying to be a team player in a way, that there is no Ian Gardner. But I did see your dad in the stands. Kind of think you might get it from him, Gardner. Am I correct on that front?
Oh, there's no doubt. He might even get a little more fired up than I do during games. But yeah, I'm lucky to have him for sure.
Yeah, I know. I mean, was he always that way when you were growing up, youth sports, the whole business?
That's right, man. He was my first coach, been my coach for as long as I can remember. And he always made sure, you know what, if you're not first or last, you're either getting better or you're getting worse. He's always pushed me to do great things.
Well, let's talk about your journey a little bit here. Did you get any scholarship offers coming out of high school? Where'd you get scholarship offers, Gardner Minshew?
I didn't have any D1 offers by the end of my senior year. I had a few early, and they kind of dropped just with certain circumstances. So from there, I decided to walk on at Troy because that was at that time that was my best opportunity. And
what happened? Walk me through it.
Yeah, so I was at Troy for a semester. Wasn't the right fit. Decided to go back to junior college in Mississippi, and I didn't realize it at the time, but that was one of the best decisions I could have made. Went to junior college, won a national championship, and had as much fun in that year of football as I have in any.
And that's Northwest Mississippi Community College, correct?
Yes, sir, in Senatobia, Mississippi.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's the Northwest Mississippi Community College, right? Did I miss the V?
You know it.
Okay,
That's right.
I forgot. I don't mean to disrespect. And then you went to East Carolina after that.
That's right. Yes, sir. I was there for 2 years. Was kind of in and out. Played some. Played good at times. Played bad at times. Didn't win many games. And then at the end of that, had the opportunity to graduate transfer. And man, I'm super blessed, so lucky, whatever you want to call it, to have Coach Leach hit me up and offer me a spot on his team. And, man, I just tried to make the most of that opportunity there.
Well, now, Gardner, he told me, we had him on a couple Fridays ago, that the phone conversation was a simple one because you were getting set to go to Alabama. And he told us that it was a very simple proposition he gave you. Do you remember what he said to you on that phone call?
Yeah, he said, do you want to go sit the bench at Alabama or do you want to come here and lead the country in passing? And when he said that, that was about all I needed to hear. I was already packing my bags. I was ready to go.
Now, he seems like you guys would be kindred spirits. Is that a correct story? Would that be a correct assumption right there?
Oh, absolutely. I can't say enough on how much he's done for me and how much fun we had last year. And he's a person I'll be close to forever.
Okay, so now where along these steps, Gardner Minshew, did you take out a hammer and try and break your throwing hand because you wanted a medical red shirt? At what point did that happen?
Yeah, that was my first year at ECU. So because initially in the beginning of the year I was supposed to redshirt, and then I couldn't. Played a little bit, and I was going to end up playing like a half of football and lose a whole year of eligibility, and that just didn't add up for me. So at that point, that looks like my only option. So I tried to break my hand with a hammer, and that didn't work, luckily. But I ended up playing some the rest of the year, got some good experience, and learned that I can't really break my own hand with a hammer.
Life lessons come at you fast sometimes, or from
That's
places
right.
you don't expect it. Is it true that you lubricated before trying to hammer your hand off? Is that true?
That's right. Obviously not enough, but I did what I thought was best, and that was Jack Daniels.
JD. So any specific, I guess, proof of Jack Daniels, or just the straight-up version?
No, just a Man in Black, just a black label. That's it.
Okay, and then Did you, I mean, like, seriously, big, old, 3 whacks at the hand? How many times did you try and break your hand with a hammer?
It was a few times. I think I hit it like 8 or 9 times by the end of it.
8 or 9 times?
Yeah, and man, like, you just don't realize, like, you know, you think you could do it, but when you're there in the situation, how hard it is to make yourself hit your own hand.
Right.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
And that should have been a red flag, like, hey, my body's telling me I shouldn't do this. But
should have been a red flag. That's one way to put it. And did you, were you asked about this by Leach and you covered it up by saying something else? Is that a true story too?
No, so it was when I was in East Carolina.
Okay.
So I just, like, I kind of had a swollen hand for a little bit. I got asked a couple times, just said I closed in a door or something. But, yeah, it was just a little sore for a few weeks.
Gardner Minshew here on the Rich Eisen Show. So another thing, too, as your legend is growing, sir, I'm doing NFL Game Day morning the other day. You probably weren't watching because you were getting set to take on, I believe it was the Texans that day. And
okay.
The report came in from the locker room in Houston that you were stretching in just a jockstrap before the game. And my question is, can you confirm that actually happened?
I don't know about that specific incident, but I have been known to stretch and just kind of roam the locker room at a jockstrap only from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I can't confirm or deny that specific incident.
Okay, very good. Are you aware that that might be considered from some as sharing a little too much, Gardner Minshew?
You know what? If you can't share that in the locker room with all your brothers there, then I don't know. It works. You know, it worked in our Washington State locker room. It's working right now in our Jaguars locker room. It may not be for everybody, but you know what? If anything, it's making us closer.
Okay. When you say us, you're talking about you and your teammates.
Absolutely.
Closer. Okay. I just want to understand what you're referring to right there. And the reason why you do it is just because what? Is it just you can really stretch? I mean, again, I'm a 50-year-old man who needs to probably stretch a little bit more. So in a way, I might be picking up a tip here or two, Gardner.
Yeah, honestly, it's not like a thought out thing. It's typically like at just some point while getting dressed, you know, I'll decide to stretch or something like that. And, you know, sometimes it just happens to be where I'm at the jockstrap phase, and that's what you get.
Well, Leonard Fournette says he's nicknamed you the jockstrap king. That's a true story, too?
See, that's what he says, man. And coming from him, that's quite the title. So I'm not upset with that.
Okay. What was it like in the huddle, Gardner Minshew? A few minutes left with the Jaguars quarterback here. What was it like in the huddle with your offensive lineman after Fournette rumbled 81 yards but did not score, meaning the Big Hosses had to run down the field in Denver in the mile-high air and huddle up and try and do it again? What was that like?
Yeah, you know, they were all kind of running behind the play, too, like celebrating a little bit, like, and then they realized, oh, crap, we got another play. So, you know, we tried to get everybody together, let them calm down a little bit. But, yeah, no, it's no joke playing up there.
Yeah, I bet. My next question for you is, I know you've obviously grown up a football fan in the state of Mississippi. Mile High is a classic spot. There's been some classic games played there. What in the world was it like for you to suit up as a starting quarterback in the NFL, win a game there? What in the world is that like for you?
Oh, it's so cool. You know, that's what I try to, you know, get to the stadium a little bit early to get, you know, kind of the fanboy stuff out, just look around, check it out, see what it's all about. And then so by the time game comes, I can just, you know, worry about doing my job. But there's no doubt. It's so cool. You know, being able to do what I'm doing right now, I couldn't be more grateful. Super blessed for it.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, I mean, what has this whole experience like been for you? Obviously, you've got a lot more games to go, potentially, since Foles looks to be quite banged up. What in the world is – how have you kept your head about yourself, Gardner?
Yeah, I mean, you just try to take it week by week. And, you know, more than anything, like people get caught up in all the noise and everything that's going on. But, man, all I want to do, I just want to win a game, win one game a week, and that's all you really can do, because if you start focusing on other stuff, you're going to lose it all.
How much has Foles been there for you?
Oh, he's awesome. I mean, he's one of the best people I've been around in this game. Selfless guy, true leader. And he's helped me just keep, whether it's this last game, just saying keep pounding, even when things aren't looking good, trust yourself. He instills a lot of confidence in me and the rest of the team, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Do you have an example, like where he pulled you aside or film room during the game at any point over the last 3 weeks? You got a good example of what Foles has meant for your development so far, Gardner?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say you just look back at this last game. We were down 17-3 in the first half, and he's just, hey, it's okay. Like, stay calm. We're good. You're going to do what you do. You're going to make enough plays, and we're going to go win this game. And just giving that confidence to me is huge. Keeping kind of a steady hand on everything.
Okay. Couple more minutes left with you before I let you go off into your day here, and you got a big game obviously coming up in Carolina against the Panthers. Both teams 2-2. When it all comes down to it, growing up in Mississippi, who was your guy? I can pretty much guess, but your idol growing up in the state of Mississippi was who? Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, actually, I wore number 9 for the longest time for Steve McNair. Mississippi boy. I was a Titans fan because of him coming up. I know that's not probably what I should be saying with the team I play for now, but that was my guy, Aaron McNair from Alcorn State. So,
because I was going to go Favre, obviously the old gunslinger from Mississippi, but Steve McNair was your guy, huh? That's right. Are you just saying that to butter up the Titans fans if you're going to go try and beat him, Gardner? Is that what you're saying?
No chance. I do love Favre now. He's I've got to meet him a couple times, and that's awesome. But man, yeah, Steve McNair. I don't know what it is, but he was my guy.
Yeah, I mean, and your first career win is against the Titans. That's pretty cool in that regard.
That's right,
for sure.
That's right. That was my team too. So that was awesome.
And who have you heard from with your newfound fame here that it was pretty cool? Whether it's text, somebody reached out to you. Who is that person so far for you?
Yeah, man, it's kind of been cool just seeing some of the older QBs reach out. From Troy Aikman, who called the game the other night, to Kurt Warner's been texting me, talking to Mark Brunell, talked to Peyton Manning before the game. Seeing all these guys and just really feeling kind of the brotherhood that it is in the NFL. That's been so cool. The guys that you looked up to for so long, reaching out and trying to help, man, it's unreal.
And then last one for you, Gardner. Before your first start, the one in Houston, photograph went totally viral on Twitter, Instagram, etc., of you coming out of a plane looking like you were the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And but it wasn't you coming out of the plane that week in Houston. Where was this photograph that everybody, I guess in a way, was first introduced to your style prior to your first career start, Gardner?
Yeah, that was the outfit for the bowl game. Kind of wearing my Cougs pimp suit. That was an all-time outfit. I don't know if I'll ever be able to have an occasion to be able to wear that again.
Okay.
But no, that was a special time.
I mean, where does one get a? Let me write this down. Coug pimp suit. Where does one get one of those?
We actually had a fan at Wazoo. He sent it in and said I was the only person that could pull it off. So I had to do what I could.
They make those in teal, I'm sure, Gardner. They have to.
I'm sure. If somebody wants to send one in, I'll think about wearing it on a road
And
game.
I'll tell you what, Gardner, if it still works here, I don't know. Week 9, I'll be calling the Jaguars-Texans game.
There we go.
In London. If you show up in London dressed like that, it would absolutely, the Paps, as they say, over in London, they would go crazy over that. That's where you bust out the teal version.
That would be the time, huh?
Yeah, tell Marone and Coughlin I gave you that idea. Just
I'm sure Coughlin he would really love
it. Is it one last thing too? Is it true that your grandfather was going to name you Beowulf? Is that a true story?
Yeah, that's what he wanted. Tarzan was also in the mix for a little bit, but luckily they didn't. My parents didn't listen.
Okay. Hey, Gardner, thanks for the time, man. It's been an absolute pleasure watching you play football the last few weeks. Good luck to you, and I hope you get to play as long as you want.
Heck yeah, Rich. I appreciate you, man.
Right back at you. That's Gardner Minshew, at Gardner Minshew 5 on Twitter, right here on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.